So hello everyone, in this session we are gonna focus on what are iterative statements and how we can use iterative statements. Iterative statements are nothing but loops. So before we talk about what are loops and how we use loops, let us talk about why we use loops. What is the need to introduce a concept called as looping in our programming? So to understand the concept of why we use loops, let us take a scenario. Let's say that in our VS Code, this is my HTML document and this is my JavaScript, right? So in the JavaScript, I want to print, let's say hello world, console.log, hello world. Now let me run this program and click on inspect. You can see that in the console I will get hello world. Here let me clear all this. Now refresh this. You will see that I got the output as hello world. Let's say that I want to print this hello world for 2 times. Then I can print it here. I will copy the same thing and I will paste it here. Now I want to print hello world for 5 times. So I will print hello world, something like that. Okay. Now I want to print hello world. Let us consider a scenario that I want to print hello world for 1 lakh times. Now my question is it viable? Is it practical to print hello world for 1 lakh times, to copy paste 1 lakh times? No. So in that scenario, what we will do is that we use iterative statements. We use loops in that. So instead of printing, we use a loop, and in that we apply some conditions and that loop will automatically work, and you can print or perform any operations you want again and again until and unless your threshold condition matches your required condition. If the condition is satisfied or if the condition is false, then and only we will stop our looping process, or else the looping will continue. We will talk about what is condition, initialization, all this. So let us begin with our session. In Java we have 3 types of loops, right? For loop, while loop, do while loop. Similarly in JavaScript also we have different types of loop, and the first type of loop is for loop. So in for loop, the structure, the syntax of for loop is, first of all we have to write for keyword, after our initialization of a variable. Okay, after condition we will give condition and updation step. Inside that, whatever the work we want to perform, we will write that inside the curly braces. Okay, now let us go back to our question. We want to print console.log in that hello world for 1 lakh times. 1 lakh is nothing but 10 to the power of 5. So we want to print this for 1 lakh times. Then what we can do is that we can use for loop. So I will write for, and I will create a initialization variable. Let's say let I is equals to 1. Okay, and until and unless my I value is less than or equals to 10 to the power of 5, I will increment I, and inside that I will print console.log hello world. Now what this 2 lines will do is that it will print hello world for 1 lakh times. I hope you have understood. I hope you have understood the usage of a loop. It will reduce the number of lines in your code, and it will make your code a little bit faster while executing. Okay, now here what will happen is that initially this first step is known as initialization step. So initially I is equals to 1, and what is my condition? Until and unless this condition is false, my loop will continue. If this condition is false, my loop will get stopped. Okay, got it. Now I is equals to 1, and it will come to condition. It will check, okay, 1 is less than or equals to 10 to the power of 5. Yeah, condition is true. If the condition is true, it will come inside the loop, and I will print hello world. After that, I will increment the I value. I will change from I is equals to 1 to 2. Again 2 is less than or equals to 5, 10 to the power of 5. Yeah, condition is true. Print console.log. After that, increment the I value. Like this, the increment will continue for 10 to the power of 5. When I is equals to 10 to the power of 5, I will print my last statement. Okay, after that my I value will become 10 to the power of 5 plus 1. Now 10 to the power of 5 plus 1 is not less than 10 to the power of 5. The condition is false now. If the condition is not getting satisfied, then I will stop my loop. Like this iterative statement will work. So let me go to VS Code and show you. So in this VS Code, what I will do is that I will run for let I is equals to 1, and I will print console.log for 100 times. Let us see, 100 times less than or equals to 100 and I plus plus. Now in this I want to print console.log, let's say hello world. I want to print hello world for 100 times. So here, where is my function? Okay, this is my function, right? And statement terminator. Okay, now let me save it and go to the document. You can see that I got the output 100 times. Here this 100 represents I have printed output for 100 times. How I can expand it? I think we cannot expand it. How to expand it? I don't know. Yeah, basically it is showing I have printed hello world for 100 times. If I give hello world for 2 times, here in the place of 100 I will give 2, then hello world will get printed for 2 times. Like this we can print hello world for n number of times. We can perform all the operations, not just hello world. We can perform arithmetic operations. We can print I value. Here in the place of console.hello world I will print I value. So here I will print I, and here let me give 1000. Okay, now go to the document. You can see that I got the number from 1 to 1000. Like this we can use the concepts of loops to perform any operations we want repeatedly. Now the next question we are having is we need to print the numbers from 1 to 5, 1 to 15 odd numbers, and 2 to 10 even numbers. So let us try to do this question. So we already know modulo operator, we already know what is division and all those kind of things, right? So the first thing is we need to print odd numbers from 1 to 15. So I is equals to let I is equals to 1 and I should be less than or equals to 15 and I plus plus. Okay, got it. Now how we can tell whether a number is even or odd? If the number is divisible by 2, then the given number is even. If the number is not divisible by 2, then the given number is odd. So first of all let me print odd numbers. So I will print console.log odd numbers between 1 to 15 is okay. Now here I will check if my I modulo 2 is not equals to 0. We already know what is modulo operator. Modulo operator will give you the remainder of a particular division. If the remainder is 0, then it implies that the number is divisible by 2. If it is not giving me 0, then it is not divisible by 2. If a number is not divisible by 2, then it is an odd number. Simple logic. So I will print console.log and I value. Okay. Now similarly I will print console.log even numbers between 1 to 15 or 20 is for let I is equals to 1 and I should be less than or equals to 20 and I plus plus. In this I will check if my I modulo 2 is equals to 0. If it is divisible, then I will print the particular number. So console.log my odd numbers, basically I value, I will print the I value, that's all. Now let me save and go to the program. You can see that I got the output like this. Odd numbers between 1 to 15 is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 15, and even numbers between 1 to 20 is this numbers. Like this we can use the concepts of loops. Now the next concept is infinite loop. So I have told you that a loop can be broken down into three parts. The first one is initialization step. In the initialization step, we will initialize a variable. Okay. Now the second step is condition step. This initialization variable will get checked by a condition, and if that condition is true, then and only we will go inside the loop. If the condition is itself false, then we will not go into the loop. Okay. Now if the condition, let's say, is getting satisfied, then I will come into the loop and I will perform all the operations and I will go back and I will update. So these are the three steps involved in each and every loop. The first one is initialization step, second one is a condition, and the last one is updation. Okay. Now let us assume a scenario where the condition which I have given is always true. Then what will happen? Then infinite loop condition will occur. Your loop will continue until and unless your console get crashed. If the console is crashed, your browser will not get opened. That is why we should not, as a programmers, as a developers, we should never use infinite looping, because it will occupy all your memory and it will crash your system, your local system. Okay. Now when infinite looping condition occurs is when the given condition is always true. Here you can see I have given some examples. I have initialized let I is equals to 1 and I should be greater than or equals to 0 and I plus plus. So in this loop what will happen is I is equals to 1. Okay, 1 is greater than or equals to 0. Condition is satisfied. I will come inside the loop, I will perform the operation and I will increment I by 1. Now 2 is also greater than or equals to 0. After 3, after 4, after infinite, up to infinite times, this loop will get continue until and unless your memory is full. Like this, infinite conditions. Here also the condition is always true. If I am not giving any conditions, then I have told you in JavaScript part 2, I guess, everything can be divided into either false or either true. And JavaScript innately understand if there is nothing, then it is true. That is why here you can see that there is nothing, I am giving nothing. And what JavaScript will assume that this condition is true. And if the condition is true, always true, then I will get infinite loop. I hope you have understood what is the concept of infinite loop. Now the next concept is nested loop. We have seen nested arrays, we have seen nested if-else conditions. Now the next thing is nested loops. So basically writing a loop inside a loop is known as a nested loop. And how we can write it? Let me show you. So in the VS Code, I will remove all this. I will write for int I is equals to 0 and I should be less than 10, I plus plus. And I will print for int, why I'm going into JavaScript, let. My brain is always in Java, man, I don't know that. So for let j is equals to I plus 1. So writing a loop inside a outer loop, that thing is known as nested loop, and we can create a number of nested loops, not just 2, not just 3, a number of nested loops. So j should be less than or equals to 10, after that j plus plus. And inside that also we can write for let k is equals to j plus 1 and j should be less than 10, k should be less than 10, after that k plus plus. Now in that it is showing some sort of error expected. Here I need to give, okay, everything is correct, right? Okay, I need to give let. Okay, now in this I will print console.log I value. Let us see what will happen. Now go to the document. You can see that I got the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 7. I am getting this, and if you notice, I am printing this value for 36 times. I am printing 0 for 36, after 28, 21, 15, 10, 6, 5, 3, like this. I am printing different numbers. Now here if I write k, then let us see what will happen. I will get the output something like this. Now the next type of loop we are having is while loop. So while loop is very similar to for loop, the overall working is very same, but the only difference is syntax. In for loop we write everything in a single line, whereas in while loop, first of all we write initialization step in a line. After this is my condition step. Inside the while loop I will write my updation step. Okay, so this is the syntax of while loop. While loop and for loop are same, but the only difference is the structure of writing while loop and the structure of writing for loop are basically kind of different from one another. Okay, now how we can write while loop, let me show you. Now I will write let I is equals to 10 or I is equals to 1 while I is less than 10. Okay, now inside that I will write console.log. This is a while loop. Okay, now after that I will give I plus plus. Let me see the output. Now you can see that I have printed my while loop for 9 times. If I give I should be less than or equals to 10, then you will see the output as 10 times. Like this we can use while loop. While loop and for loop are basically same, but the difference is writing difference. Now the next concept we are having is favorite movie. Okay, so this is a interesting question that we are gonna do. So what we will do in this question is we will ask user, by giving a prompt we will ask user his favorite movie, and if the favorite movie user has given and my favorite movie is same, then we will give congratulations, we have a good taste. Now if the user didn't choose the movie which I wanted, then I will tell him okay, wrong movie, try again, wrong movie, try again, until and unless he chooses to quit. If he chooses to quit, then we will tell him you don't have any interest in movies. Okay, so let us try this question. So what I'm gonna do is that I will remove all this. Okay, so in the VS Code what I'm gonna do is that I will create a variable let favorite movie is equals to, let's say, Batman, the Batman. Okay, now after that I will give a prompt to my user. Here I will give a prompt to my user, let guess is equals to, let's say, prompt, and here I will give enter movie name, Okay, got it. Now after that, if while my guess is not equals to my favorite movie and my guess value is not equals to quit. If the user hasn't quit, have not quit, and if it is not equals to my favorite movie, then I will ask him again, wrong answer, try again. So here I will give quit. Now inside the loop I will give a prompt, guess is equals to, I will update the value of guess again, so prompt, and here I will give prompt as wrong movie guess again, or I can give here not my favorite movie, right, not my favorite movie, guess again. Okay, now if user has chosen, like if guess is equals to my favorite movie, if this is the case, then I will print console.log you have taste in movies, or else if user has chosen quit, so here I can give in the place of else, I can give if else guess is equals to quit. If this is the case, if user has chosen to quit the game, then we will print console.log you don't have any taste in movies, you don't have any taste in movies. Okay, now let me save the document and go to the section. Now what I'm gonna do is that I will run the program. So let me run the program here. Okay, now it is asking enter movie name. Let's say I'm entering Avengers. Okay, Avengers. Click on enter. You can see that not my favorite movie. Guess again. Now let's say I'm entering what we can say, Superman. Superman, click here. Not my favorite movie. Naruto, not my favorite movie. If I have chosen, let's say I want to quit the game, then I will click on quit, and you can see that in the prompt, where is my inspect window? Let me go to my inspect window. You can see that in the console, my console is showing me you don't have any taste in movies, or else instead of printing in console, I can give a prompt or a alert also here. In the place of console.log, I will give a alert, alert alert, and here also I can give a alert. Instead of checking in log window, console window, I will give a alert. Okay, got it. Now let me go to the document again. Where is my document? Yeah, here is my document. Now it is asking enter a movie. Now let's say I am entering directly the Batman. So when I enter the Batman now, I will get a prompt. So here it is asking, okay, I will enter the Batman. Here let me check the alert spelling first. alert. I hope the spelling is correct, right? Yeah, alert. And similarly alert. Okay, both are same. Now let me save and run this document. Now I got the prompt, enter movie name. Let's say I'm directly entering the Batman. Now when I click on the Batman directly, it is showing you have taste in movies. Now if I don't have any taste in movies, now let's say I'm entering Avengers or any wrong movies, then if the process will continue, not my favorite movie, try again. If I click or if I give quit, then I will tell you you don't have any taste in movies. Like this our program will work. Now the next concept we are gonna study is break keyword. So break keyword is used to come out of your loop. If a particular condition is true, then you want to come out of your loop, then you can use break and continue keyword. Continue is used to just skip one iteration. If a particular condition is true, and if that condition is getting true or false, then you don't want to do a iteration. You want to skip a iteration step, then you will use continue keyword. If you want to come out of loop, then you will use break keyword. So let me give here in the place, I will remove all this. Now I will write let a is equals to 10. After that, while my a is not less than or equals to 30, less than or equals to 30. Okay, now inside that I will check if my a value is equals to 11, then I want to continue. I don't want to print anything else. What I want is I want to print console.log a value. After that I will increment a by 1. Okay, got it. Now let us see what our output is. Click on inspect. Let me run the program first. Okay, now click on inspect. Let the page come. It's taking time, I don't know why. Let me save the both files. Now I think it is taking time. I don't know why it is taking time. Yeah, basically this is how we use like continue statement. If you want to come out of loop, now here you need to use semicolon. If you want to come out of loop, then you will write break. By writing this you can come out of the loop. I don't know, this file is getting loaded, but yeah, this is how we use break and continue keyword. Now the next concept we are having is loops with arrays. Okay, loops with arrays. Okay, we have studied arrays, right? Now using arrays, like using the concepts of arrays, we try to apply loops on our arrays. So let us see how it will work. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that in my program I will create let arr is equals to mango, banana, comma, orange. I am giving fruit names. Now I want to print each and every index in my array. I know how to print. I will write ARR of 0, after that ARR of 1, after that ARR of 2. By writing this console.log error of 0, error of 1 like this, by writing this we can print the elements in the array. But I don't want this long procedure. I am gonna use loops. Okay, so I will write for let I is equals to 0 and I should be less than arr dot length, after that I plus plus. Now in this I will print console dot log, I will print I value, that's all, or I will print arr of I value. Okay, now let me save the document and go to the document. I think there is some problem with script, so let me run again. Yeah, now click on console, inspect and console. You can see that I'm getting output as mango, banana, orange, something like that. Like this we can perform iteration on my arrays. Now the next concept we are having is for of loop. So for of loop is a new type of loop which is introduced recently, I guess, and for of loop is used to perform iteration on a set of objects. Objects, we don't know what is objects and classes, we will study in the next upcoming sessions, but you can consider that each and every element in an array is a object in itself. Okay, you can consider like that. Okay, now to perform iteration on objects we use for of loops. So you can consider, instead of giving initialization, of updation, after condition, all these three things, you can consider for of loop as a shortcut. Okay, this is kind of shortcut. So here you can print, in the place of all this you can write for of, you will get the option of for of. Now here I will write my element. What is my element name? Fruits, right? So for fruit, which is my arr, for a fruit in my fruits, I will print console, I will print console.log and I will print my fruit value, fruit, fruit, that's all. Now let me save and go to the document. Now in the output you can see I got the output as mango, banana, orange. Like this we can use for of loop to print elements in a particular array. Okay, so for of loop is used to print objects, right? To print objects in a collection. We will talk about what are objects, collections, all those kind of things in the next upcoming lectures. Now the last question we need to do, an interesting question, to create a to-do list app by just using JavaScript. Okay, let us try to do it. Okay, first of all imagine it, we have 4 functionalities in our list. One is list. When the user gives us list, we will print all the things. Okay, we will show him in the console window, we will print whatever the task he has written. If he wants to add, then we will take the element in the prompt and we will add it in our array. We will add it. After that, if users choose to delete, then we will delete the first element using shift operator. After that, if users chooses to quit, then we will print all the elements in the console. Whatever the to-do list he has created, we will print that and we will quit our game. Okay, so here what I'm gonna do is that first of all I will remove all this. Now I will create an array. Let's say to-do is the array name. To-do is equals to, initially it is empty. Okay, now I'm gonna send a request to my user. So I will write it, let request is equals to prompt. I will give a prompt. Let's say what do you want to do with your to-do list? What do you want to do with your to-do list? Okay, got it. Now here I will print, before giving request I will print console. I will print here console dot log. Okay, if users give me list now, then I will print all the elements in the list. If users give me like quit, then I will quit. If user has given me to add, then I will add elements. Okay, so while my request is not equals to quit, okay, if this is the case, user don't wanna quit, then I will come into the loop and I will check if conditions. If request is equals to add, if this is the case, then what I'm gonna do is that I will add todo dot push. I will push the elements, right? I will push whatever the elements you want to add. Okay, so if user wants to add, then I will ask him like let add is equals to prompt add task. Write your task. Okay, write your task. After that, after user has written his task, I will add that into my todo array. So todo dot push and I will add element. Okay, now if user has chosen to delete, so here if request is equals to delete del, I will just put del instead of writing complete. I will put del. If this is the case, then I will print, first of all I will print console dot log. I will print what I can print. I will print like todo dot shift. That's all. Now whatever the element I have deleted from the last, I'm printing it in my console. Now if user has chosen, if the request is to list, which is basically display all the elements, then I will write console.log and I will print my todo array. That's all. So let me save, and after he chosen to quit, after if my request is equals to quit, if this is the case, then what I'm gonna do is that I will print console.log your to-do list is, and I will print whatever the elements present in my to-do. So I will print to-do. That's all. Now let me save and go to the document. After pushing again, I will update my request. Request is equals to prompt what do you want to do. Okay, here I will also remove all this extra sentences. Okay, let me save now. Now it is asking what do you want to do. Let's say I want to add. Now it is asking write your task. Let's say my task is games is my task. Okay, now again it is asking what do you want to do. I want to quit. That's all. Now if you click on inspect and let us observe, along with the inspect tool, let us observe what is happening. Let me refresh the page. Now it is asking what do you want to do. Now I want to add some task in my list. It will ask, okay, write your task. Let's say my task is gaming. Okay, after it again it is asking, I will give add and I will write in my task list. I will write again what I can write here. Movie is also a task. Now I want to print whatever the things which is there in my to-do list. I want to print it, so I will give here list. So when I give list, now you can see that I am getting gaming and movie. These are the two things which I have inserted in my to-do list. Similarly, if I want to add again, and if I want to give here driving is also one of my tasks. And if I want to print all the elements, then you can see that my elements are now gaming, movie, driving. These are the three tasks I have to do. Now if I want to delete the first task, then I will give del. Now click on it. Now you can see that my output is delete. Now if I give list again, then you can see that in my list, in my to-do list, there are only two elements, movie and driving. Now if I want to quit now, then here I will write quit. After quitting, you can see that your to-do list is movie and driving. Like this, we can create our own custom to-do list, and I hope you have understood the logic. If you have understood the logic now, then I want you to do like to do some customization. This is just pure JavaScript, right? So add some creativity in it and try to do within the console, try to create a functional to-do list. So with that being said, I hope like this is the last thing. Yeah, this is the last thing we were covering. I hope I have understood till now how loop works and using loops how we can perform different things. So with that being said, I will see you in the next lecture.